On April 3, 1974, the sky over the Midwest turned violent. Chapter 1. What was the 1974 Tornado Super Outbreak? Over a 16 to 18-hour period, it produced 148 confirmed tornadoes across 13 U.S. states and Ontario, Canada. The 1974 Super Outbreak was one of the most violent and widespread tornado events in recorded history, occurring between April 3 and April 4, 1974. It remains the most violent outbreak on record, featuring 30 tornadoes rated F4 or F5 on the Fujita scale. The outbreak resulted in 315 to 335 fatalities and more than 6,000 injuries. It caused over $600 million in damage in 1974 dollars and destroyed more than 15,000 buildings. Xenia, Ohio was rated at an F5 and was the deadliest single tornado of the outbreak, killing 32 to 34 people and destroying roughly half of the town. Brandenburg, Kentucky was an F5 and it completely leveled the downtown area and killed 31 people. Gwynn, Alabama was rated at an F5 and was one of the most powerful storms, traveling at speeds up to 75 miles per hour and killing 28 people. The tornado that hit Monticello, Indiana was an F4 and produced the longest individual path of the outbreak, tracking for 121 miles. In the spring of 1974, nearly 150 tornadoes touched down in the span of 2 days, carving out 2,598 miles of damage across the Midwest and Southeast. The event later became known as the Super Outbreak, a powerful springtime low-pressure system developed across the North American interior plains on April 1st. While moving into the Mississippi and Ohio Valley areas, a surge of unusually moist air intensified the storm further, while there were sharp temperature contrasts between both sides of the system. All of this combined together helped to create the Tornado Super Outbreak of 1974. Chapter 2. The EF5 Sayler Park Tornado. While moving into the Mississippi and Ohio Valley areas, a surge of unusually moist air intensified the storm further, while there were sharp temperature contrasts between both sides of the system. All of this combined together helped to create the Tornado Super Outbreak of 1974. Entire communities were devastated, including Sayler Park in Cincinnati. It touched down around 5:30 p.m. on April 3, 1974. It was rated F5 on the Fujita scale, with estimated winds exceeding over 300 miles per hour. The tornado originated near Rising Sun, Indiana, crossed the Ohio River into Boone County, Kentucky, and then crossed back into Ohio, slamming directly into Sayler Park. In Sayler Park alone, dozens of homes were leveled, and the Moorhead Marina and its floating restaurant were obliterated. There were a total of 5 fatalities in the Cincinnati area. 3 of them were in Sayler Park. Over 200 people were injured across the metropolitan area of Cincy. At the time, many believed the hills and urban structure of Cincinnati would protect it from a major tornado. The Sayler Park event unfortunately disproved this theory. The neighborhood was declared a disaster area, but survivors often recall the profound community effort that followed to rebuild the west side. It will always be famously remembered as the only tornado during that 24-hour period to touch down in 3 states, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, across a 21-mile path. Chapter 3. The Annihilation of Xenia, Ohio. The 1974 Xenia tornado was a violent F5 twister that devastated the city of Xenia, Ohio on April 3, 1974. It was the deadliest and most destructive individual storm of the 1974 Tornado Super Outbreak. The tornado formed near Bellbrook, Ohio at approximately 4:30 p.m. and intensified as it moved northeast at 50 miles per hour. It entered Xenia at 4:40 p.m., staying on the ground for 39 minutes and carving a path 31.3 miles long and a half-mile wide. The storm killed 32 people directly, 34 total, including 2 Air National Guardsmen who died in a subsequent fire, and injured approximately 1,150 others. Roughly half of the city was leveled, including 1,400 buildings. Notable sites destroyed included Xenia High School, several elementary schools, 10 churches, and most of the downtown business district. Damage was estimated at $250 million in 1974, which is roughly equivalent to $1.74 billion today. The tornado featured estimated wind speeds of 305 miles per hour, making it one of the most violent ever recorded. Dr. Ted Fujita, developer of the Fujita scale, initially assigned it a preliminary F6 rating before downgrading it to F5, the highest official rating. Observations and film footage revealed multiple subvortices, up to 5, merging into the main circulation as it passed through the city. President Richard Nixon visited Xenia on April 9, 1974, describing the scene as the worst devastation he had ever seen. The disaster was a primary catalyst for upgrading updating the National Weather Service's warning systems. It included the adoption of Doppler radar and the installation of 10 tornado sirens across Xenia, which had none prior to the storm. Residents adopted the slogan "Xenia lives" during the rebuilding process, and a tornado memorial plaque now stands at Xenia City Hall to honor those lost. The sheer magnitude of the disaster exposed significant gaps in storm detection and communication, leading to a massive reorganization of the National Weather Service. This led to the expansion of NOAA weather radio and the eventual development of Doppler radar and GOES satellites. The 1974 super outbreak was one of the most violent and widespread tornado events in recorded history, affecting 13 U.S. states and Ontario, Canada. Over a 24-hour period, 148 tornadoes were confirmed, a record that stood for 37 years until the 2011 super outbreak. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content.